Good afternoon, and welcome to Back to the Aquatic. It feels right at home at Discover Aquatic Research Facility to discuss more about its progress and what's to come in the future. 3 years ago, the community update was released on May 15, 2019. It was considered to be the best update at that time, and we met so many people and made new friends that we hang out, talk stories, help out, and much more. Sure, some were forgotten in later years, but they didn't stop the success of the community update for DARF. Today, I have a lot to discuss about and how we can continue to deliver for our community. So let's start with Discover Archives, dedicated for Aquatic Research Facility. We've announced back in Aspire 2020 that the goal for Archives is to preserve old versions of our experiences, where players of tomorrow can look back in time to see how far we've come, or re-experiencing nostalgia together. We've been very quiet about older versions of DARF, and today I'd like to shed light about it. In the upcoming weeks, we will be releasing DARF Archives. This experience contains our past two versions, first being the beta release and the second is the Emerald update. Instead of me telling you more about DARF Archives, let's take a look. Hello everybody and welcome to the first ever look at Discover Archives, specifically Discover Aquatic Research Facility. So, right off the bat, we got a very basic UI which would definitely be changed in the future, but this is more of a prototype of what I'm going to show you for Discover Archives for DARF. So we got three versions to pick: the beta release, the Emerald update, and the community update. You may notice that there's a background for the beta release. The reason why we did this is because when you click on the beta release, we want to have a seamless transition from what we are right now to Discover Aquatic Research Facility beta release. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. Again, seamless transition. You may not notice it that you're being teleported or not, but here we are. This is Aquatic Research Facility beta release. So right off the bat, we got the time and a hamburger menu to go to the main menu, and we have another hamburger menu on the right. We just click here, so let's do that. So right off the bat, this is the introduction, as well as say your status. So from here we got needs, we got our career, and we got our emotes. Which, if you don't know, emotes wasn't a thing back in the beta release. It did came on the Emerald update. And this is the button to expand and, you know, all that stuff. So here it is. This is the building architecture from 2016. And we also got the old terrain that was changed in the Emerald update. Oh, check it out. This is the info panel that we've also fixed. So it works in Discover Archives. So all that stuff, facility, all that stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look at the lobby. And as you're here, the lobby music, which is Basement Floor by Kevin MacLeod, works in this build. And since the Roblox changed the whole audio privacy thing, we decided to re-upload our version of Basement Floor by Kevin MacLeod. So let's take a look at Sector D, which is generators and emergency coolant. Here's a small trivia for you. The emergency coolant was going to be at Sector D, not where we are right now. And another thing I would like to point out. So you see this, right? That was supposed to resemble a window. But from all of my development stuff through the years, I've seen people doing this. Literally face planting into a window. And I keep telling them that's a window, not an entryway to the generators. But people keep telling us it looks like an entryway to the generators because the glass is not, it's way too transparent. But we're sorry about that. We promise you we will fix it in later versions. So let's take a look at the generators. But actually, we didn't know this was backported from Discover Computer Core and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and try to turn it on. Alright. And it also has the same sounds too. And it wasn't until the I think it was the Emerald update that changed the sound to what we have now. So that's a quick look at the generators, and we're gonna take a look at the transit there soon. Let's go ahead and take a look at Sector C, which is the mainframe and reactor. This is what the airlock used to look like back then. It was pretty basic. It was, instead of like, you know, a rectangle or square look like thing. Nope, and it's gone. Also, we'll be adding the airlock sounds back, which is the all personnel standing clear, all that stuff. So, other than that, this is what the mainframe looked like back then. We got the water, which is flowing fast. We didn't have the lights that goes around the mainframe wall, and we only had like a single neon light. So, you guessed it. Today's security code is 5334118. And the second security code is, well, I don't know what the second security code is because it's been so long. Unfortunately, I don't know the second code. But yeah, the mainframe looks very basic. And like there's no like design and this and that. And this is the entryway to the reactor. And it looks crap. It looks crap today. I get that. But back in 2016, it was acceptable. So we got the glass here with the terrain water and all that stuff. That's our mainframe back. That's our reactor back then. Looks pretty basic and all that good stuff and all its glory. And yeah, there was no reactor power, no voltage regulator, all that stuff. It was just simply an area for the reactor, which back in 2016 was still considered acceptable. But now it looks like crap. It looks like crap alongside with other crappy core games. So that wraps it up for Sector C. Now let's take a look at Sector B. So this is Sector B, which is the transit and main elevators. So let's go ahead and take a look. Well, we're gonna take a look at the transit later on, but let's take a look at the main stairway. We didn't have restrooms back then, so we had. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. But this is the main stairway, which we didn't have a parking level yet. And look at those stairs. It's like walking to heaven. This is the main elevators, which takes you to the cafe, admin database, and security, which is now known as auditorium. So let's go to floor 2 to see what's new at floor 2. I don't know what we just hit, but we hit something. So we try to fix the elevator the best we can, and if it still continues to drive problems, we might convert it to tween service, or we could backport the elevator from the current DARF to this version of DARF. So this is it. This is the second floor, and this is the Discover Executive's office, and we have a free modeled code pad, well not code pad, but a group owner door. So it looks very bare bones in there. We have a free model turret, which doesn't work, thankfully. So yeah, this is the second floor. On the left, we got Sector F, which is cafeteria. So if we go in here, you may notice that the old music plays, but back then we had a feature where, depending on the time, for example, if the time reaches 8 o'clock and you're still in the cafe, a different music will play, but I'll demo that real soon. So this is the cafe, and this is the menu which you can interact with. So we got chicken leg, cheeseburger, cheese nachos, and french fries, and we got 2 tacos, fajitas, and spaghetti. And for dessert, which is cake, regular cake, and pie, which is also regular. For fruits, we got 3 slices of watermelon, red apple, 4 slices of pineapple, and 4 slices of pears. And that's the drinks for, you know, if you could order stuff. But in this version of DARF, there wasn't a way to order things from it. This was going to be the freezer area where you can store food and items like that. Now let me showcase what the the cafe night theme would look like. There we go. It's night time. In fact, I meant to say, well, it happens at 6, not 8 o'clock. So yeah, you can now look at the mainframe, you can look at the big jumbo fans out there, and all that stuff. I don't know why, but I've received feedback that this music caused people to, you know, start sleeping. I'm sorry if it did. Not really. Moving on, let's take a look at Sector 8. This auditorium was very small. Just like how we were very small back then. We only had like a couple hundred members in our group, compared to now. So, we got a blue screen, which is a good start. People can actually sit here and then do stuff like that, you know, watch the event. And when I think about it, there's no way we can fit so many people from the community update into that little tiny auditorium. Oh, and I forgot, this is where you control the auditorium. Well, during the time we can only show the lights. Which, if you don't remember, let's use the sock key. We keep clicking on this. Which, any moment now, it should be able to sock me. Huh. Okay, fine, you don't want to sock? Okay, fine. I guess I'm lucky today. So, this used to be the servers and binary, which is cool. And that wraps it up for the faculty auditorium. Next, we're going to take a look at Sector G, which is the admin database, offices, and more servers. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So here we go. We got the first office here, which is, well, empty at the moment. And this is my office, which is also empty. So that's nice. So, and this is what the office used to look like now, which we made the working den. Next, we're going to take a look at, back then, the server rack. And which is this is where we store our operating system and store our backup. And those servers, some servers you could open X rack like that. You can take it out and do stuff with it. Some people would do this, well, not like that, but get on top of it. But anyway, that's the servers. We're going to be taking a look at the admin database, or shall I say the control center now. This is the old admin control, the old GUI here. We got the tilting Discover logo, and in fact, here right now, which is supposed to be the temperature screen, is the coolant pump screen, where if you turn on the pumps, you can be able to identify who turned on the pumps and this and that. This is the coolant control, the old GUI, and take a look at that. We got the old interfaces here. And right now it's overheating. Well, not overheating, but it's heating up. It's currently at 872 degrees Celsius. But you can see that there's so many old GUIs back then. And yeah, the thing's flashing like that. The reason why it was flashing like that is because we wanted to do like some kind of a effect where it'd be glowing. And in front of it, it's just like a decal. But nowadays, we don't have to do that anymore. Well, unless you're old-fashioned and decide to want to rely on that. But anyway, this is the hallway to the jumbo fans, or so to say, the cooling fans. And that's what the cooling fans used to look like back then. It's very basic, very, plain. Look at that. And this is the old GUI, what it used to look like back then. And let me just all turn this on. And look at that, exploding gushes of air. I think it's blowing way too much of it, in fact. Makes later build we actually decrease it because we've heard feedback on how eye straining it is just to see this. So that wraps it up for the ambient control. Alright, and here we are. This is the third floor, which is the coolant pumps and uranium coolant. So we can go ahead and turn this and actually play, well, it plays the sound. And look at that, it fills up, and I'm not gonna touch that because the last time I did that, I lost 2 of my arms, and I don't want to have that happen again. So this is coolant pumps. This is what the coolant pumps used to look like back then. It looks like innovation, but you can turn it on, and you can change the speed to 3, and it's hey, damn door. And that's what it used to look like back then. Yeah, pretty basic. And this is the sector that many people don't talk about now, but now it's known as the abandoned sector. So this is it, the abandoned sector, which we still have the same music to this day. So let's go ahead and use the teleporting feature. So we have to turn this on, and then we have to stand under here, and if we get our timing right, we'll be able to be teleported to somewhere else. Which, again, takes some time because you just need to wait a little. Or if you're very lucky, you should be able to be teleported right about now. Which, it's not happening. So, forget it. This is a transit area, and you can see here all that good stuff here. We get the old design here and this and that. The reason why we removed the transit is because due to Roblox physics, it was able to have, well, how would I explain this? Well, back then, when you were to spawn a train, so the train would either flip out or go nuts or fire on the facility and cause some major damage to players, but we don't want to talk about that. So here we are. This is the emergency coolant, and this over there is the emergency hotshot. Here it is. This is what it used to look like back then. But I say the room kind of looks the same during the first development build of the community update with the working meltdown and all that stuff. But back then, that's what we had. We had no meltdowns back then. And this is where the emergency hotshot lives. It looks very, very kind of medieval-like design before we changed it, design to something a lot more pleasing to look at instead of having it all dark. Lastly, we're going to be taking a look at, well, I think escape pods. So this is Sector -1, Project National, which changed to Project Modernism. And yeah, look at the old escape pods here. Makes it doesn't work. If the escape pod would work, I would probably happily leave this version of DARF and continue where I'm left off. But other than that, that's a quick look at Discover Archives for Discover Aquatic Research Facility. And that's DARF Archives, coming very soon to Discover Archives. Not only you experience DSOB Archives, you'll be able to enjoy and experience DARF Archives in a much broader light. But we're not done yet. There's something special to add for DARF Archives that we'll be adding in the near future. We will be adding the ability for players to check out past experimental builds for each release. Ever wanted to take a look at the first community update experimental build? Be my guest! Or how about the first noteworthy build of DARF? You bet! We are so excited to be expanding the capabilities of archiving historical builds for our experiences, and we cannot wait to hear your feedback about it. That's a closer look at DARF archives coming to Discover Archives very soon, letting our players experience nostalgia by taking a trip down memory lane to see the evolution of Aquatic Research Facility. Plus, in the near future, experimental builds being available to expand our goal for Discover Archives. Now, let's talk about the community update again. A couple months ago, we released 2.8, which was more of a quality of life changes and improvements to code and features. From 2.2 and onward, the team and I have been improving the existing codebase and features to deliver for our community. I really enjoy working for Aquatic Research Facility, and I take feedback seriously on how the team and I could improve the experience for the long run. As we were working on the community update back in 2018, not only improving client-side and server-side code and making it stable, we've added features that our community wanted, such as the meltdown. It was something that I took time to plan, prototype, and develop, and I had a blast working on the meltdown to be more immersive for 2018 and 2019, while improving it for years ahead. Secondly, let's talk about the Arctic Blast, or shall I say formally, the Arctic Blast Beta. This feature made its way onto our development cycle for the community update to be a much better freeze down. However, I felt bad for the Arctic Blast. You know, we're on version 2.8 of the community update, and the Arctic Blast is still in beta. It felt like I've neglected it. And that's true. The Arctic Blast deserves more than just forever being in beta. It's finally time to take it out of beta once and for all. And that, I am pleased to announce version 2.9. We're titling this update to be the best Arctic Blast update ever. So, what are we going to do with this new Arctic Blast? Well, we've seen players stare at the temperature screen for so long, waiting for something to happen. Nothing happens during that time. So, the team and I have thought of something that will totally solve this mess once and for all. And I think we've nailed it. Well, okay, not really. But in all seriousness though, we've seen players stare at the temperature screen just waiting for something to happen. Are there any ways to make this better instead of, oh you know, having to deal with this? First, let me say this for the record. The Arctic Blast got a complete overhaul for version 2.9, and the first feature I'd like to talk about is phases. We all know that our temperature display could read down to negative 450 degrees. But what happens after that? Oh, we have to sit down and wait for the main Arctic Blast event to start. You want to know how long that takes? It takes forever. So, how are we going to solve this? Oh, we could add a message box saying that the facility is too cold and to tell our players to turn off cooling systems before we explode during the Arctic Blast. No, we're not doing that. Depending on how long the facility's been under negative 450 degrees, the structural integrity of the facility will begin to deteriorate. You may not notice it with your naked eye. All you need to do is to listen for sound cues for each scenario that trigger. If nothing is done to rise the temperature back up, there may be no hopes left to save the facility from the Arctic Blast. You know, how about I give you a demo about version 2.9 and the new Arctic Blast? Hello everybody and welcome to the first look at version 2.9. Right off the bat, we noticed that we got a new GUI for the admin control. So let's get started. Right now I'm on a internal build of 2.9, but again, let's get to it. If it were to spawn my character, there it is. So here we are. Welcome to version 2.9. You notice that we've modified the sector size a little bit to add like some kind of fate a gradient to it. So first things first is that we've decided to modify this area to have a little bit more details to it. That's a lot more coherent than, having bright neon things all over the place. And you may notice we have something here, but I'll talk about that later. Let's take a look at the mainframe. With 2.9, we tweaked the airlock a little bit to have all the buttons on this side instead of having it over here, or We also added arrows to help people know what button they're gonna click on. So this is it. We have some tweaked design for the bricks and the pipes and the wires as well. Plus, we extended the area down here. So instead of only having one on the right side, we also added the left side. We've also modified the mainframe. We also added like nice neon lights around it. But another thing we also did was we completely renovated the entire reactor area. It still uses some of the same design elements of the old chamber, but we redesigned the chamber to be a little bit more modern to at least fit with the style. Not to mention, we also added ambient sounds throughout the facility, which if you don't like them, you can always turn it off under the audio settings. So this is a brand new voltage regulator. We also tweaked the UI to match with the aesthetics. Turbo boost, but we don't know when we're gonna add it back. Maybe in the future, who knows. Reactor power also have modifications to the UI to match with the new aesthetics. And so on and so forth. That is what we have so far for the newer reactor chamber. It looks basic for now, but over time, we will continue to add details and policies up before 2.9's release. But this is more of an internal beta that I'm showing you guys. So that wraps it up for the mainframe and reactor. And here we are on floor 3. So again, we've also improved the design for the pipes underneath there, which I will show you what you can do down there because there's an entryway. So, alongside with some modifications here and there, we also tweaked a little bit of the environment colors and this and that to make it match for 2.9. Another new architecture changes is Sector G's hallway. Remember the old window design? Well, we completely redid the design for 2.9 to make it sleek and modern, while also removing any possible OCD parts that came before it. And I'm honestly amazed at what the team have done to improve the hallway and architecture for 2.9. Not only looks modern, sleek, but also of the old issues of misaligned parts have been fixed. We also added a lounge area so you can go in and sit down here and use the vending machines and whatnot. We also brought back the fish that was part of Discover Computer Core. Other than that, you can look at the nice coolant tanks and the hot stop pipes, all that cool stuff. Now let's take a look at the modified control center. As we're polishing up the community update, we wanted to add a little bit more to the admin control to make it a little bit more decked out with features and this and that. So, in 2.9, we completely redid the core, or shall I say the facility status UI, that matches with all the rest of the new UI that was introduced in 2.8. But we also finally redid the coolant flow GUI for 2.9. But we're not here just to talk about that. We're here to talk about the new Arctic Blast, which I will be showing you a sneak peek of. I won't be showing you all the features for today's event, but you should be able to understand or to get hold of what to come for the new and much intense Arctic Blast. So let me go ahead and enable all the cooling systems and I'll come back. So as you can see, we have all the cooling systems enabled, the coolant and cooling fans, and already we're at the negative 100 degrees already. You may notice that the ambient looks a little bit blue now. It's not drastically blue, but it's getting darker blue when the temperature continues to drop. Well, that's a bug. But again, this is a internal beta, so all the bugs you see will most likely be fixed before the grand release of 2.9. So, as what I said, since the temperature is continuing to drop and drop, the ambient will become more bluer when the time comes. But not just that. You may notice the window color looks a little different. It doesn't look like that much clearer than before. That's because most of the windows around the facility will begin to fog up due to condensation. But that's not all what we did for the new Arctic Blast. I did say that there are phases that will happen depending on how low the temperature is. So, without further ado, let's wait until it happens. So it's been a couple of seconds and we're already at negative 425, and you may notice that the ambient looks a little different now compared to what we had before. So, as what I said before, temperatures cannot go, or the temperature readout cannot go below negative 450. So if we take a look here, well, that's oh, okay. We got a power surge that just occurred. But as I was saying, since the temperature is negative 450, it did it again. Since the temperature is negative 450, we don't know what will happen next. All we can see is the ambient color being changed and the coolant is flashing alert. The reason why we do that, and you may notice the coolant pumps or the coolant flow sounded a little bit more lower pitched because the coolant in the pipes are having issues, and that's what causing the alert thing to pop up here and there. And due to the fact that we are having power outages right now, which is a good start, should probably concern people about what's happening about the facility. And it did again. My goodness. So that's one of the new features coming to Arctic Blast. Not only the ambient changes its color, windows fogged up, and you may notice that the fan color is beginning to become icy, which is no longer like black, but it's now changing color to a lighter black. We've also added power outages that happens because, due to poor facility or too low temperatures. And there's one more thing that I want to show you about, and I require a food cam. Remember where I did add a line saying everything's freezing up, including the environment? I wasn't kidding. The environment did change, and the fact that the ambient looks a little bit more blue, and considering the watercolors, well, freezing, and the terrain isn't looking like what we have now, which is why I meant to say the environment is freezing. Oh, okay, what just happened? Oh yeah, I forgot. Because the temperature is way cold, sometimes the doors will break off. Sometimes, not all the time. So, for example, this door is fine, but it might not be fine later on, and it set on me. So let's go ahead and take a look at the mainframe now, since it's cold like that. Oh, wow, I just literally froze to death at my own game. Nice. So let's go ahead and take a look at the mainframe again. Hopefully I don't die again. Alright, so here we are, and you notice it looks quite different now. We got a little mist here, and oh, look at that. My attempt to get to, or take a shortcut to the mainframe made me end up over there. But that's not all for this particular Arctic Blast. just a like everyday power outage and this and that. That's not all. There's something more. And let me go back to the admin control to show you more. Alright, here we are, and oh boy, things doesn't look too well. We have some connection issues that are happening right now. And oh, okay, so the temperature is still below 450 because I left the cooling systems on, and the coolant colors literally changing colors. We're having a lot more power outages than before. At this point, many people might be afraid of what's happening. They might at least try to warm the facility back up, or if they're a daredevil, they can still continue to cool down the facility. Considering the fact that because the facility is so cold, it is now dropping by -22 degrees. And to accommodate it, we also have power outages that's happening as we speak. Which, yeah. So, ow! Oh my god, I got attacked by my own door in my own game. So, parts of the doors are starting to break apart because of the cold temperatures. Okay, this game is... I think this game hates me now. It wants me to play pinball. Haha! Well, oh my god. But yeah, you notice the door just flings out because it broke. Not only those sliding doors also break, but... well, this one will break as well. So, just a quick word of caution. Please be careful with the sliding door because, unexpected things might happen, and to a point that you might cause injury. And you may notice that the ambient looks a lot different now because since we were under 450 for so long, everything is so cold to a point. The whole doors break and this and that. And now that's a good this is a good opportunity for me to explain what is this down here. So you see this lag here, right? All I need to do is click on it and I have easy access down here. Yeah, for the first time ever, you can actually go down here. Now, what are you going to do down here? Well, if you see those little valves here, you can actually interact with them, but only for emergencies. And I'll explain that later on. So I'm about to wrap up what I have, or well, I'm almost about to wrap up what we currently have for the new Arctic Blast that will be completely different from older versions. And we believe this will be the best Arctic Blast update ever. And we can't wait to hear you guys what you think. But before I wrap this up, let me show you a redesigned hotspot area. Welcome to the new emergency hotspot. From here, we've also completely redid and reimagined what the emergency hotspot could do. You may notice that we now, instead of having tank status, we also have the pipe status. Well, not the pipe now, which is efficiency. Remember about the red valve that I just showed you before? That plays a key important role for the emergency hotspot during the Arctic Blast. And right now, Phase 2 has just begun, and Phase 2 is more severe than ever before. So, let me go ahead and quickly show you on that. Because Phase 2 has just begun, and all the cooling fans, since you have them on, have finally broken off. In fact, let me show you what it looks like now. Which might not look pretty, and okay. All the oh nice. So not only I'm frozen, but all the fan blade that touched the water also froze up. And we kind of lost power, which is oh boy, I don't know what to do. Which is I don't know what to do. I think we just lost power. Oh, some critical components have lost its power due to extremely poor facility integrity. Well, this is actually a good way to end this off because I don't want to spoil everything with the new Arctic Blast. For that, I want to give it back to Technological Byte, the present day Technological Byte, and let me freeze to death. So, Technological Byte, the stage is all yours. Now that's the only preview you'll be getting for the new Arctic Blast for 2.9, and I am so excited to hear what you guys think. The Arctic Blast for Aquatic Research Facility deserves better, and this update finally takes the beta tag out of here. Plus, we've done some improvements to parts of the facility, such as the brand new interfaces and ambient control that is finally streamlined and consistent, new pipes, some of which can be interacted with, and many more that contributes to the community update and our continuing mission of delivering what our community wished for. We've also created an advertisement for the new Arctic Blast. Take a look. With the new Arctic Blast, many improvements to the facility, and much more, we cannot wait for you to try out version 2.9 that will be available in September. It's a great release, and I can't wait to hear what you guys think about the new Arctic Blast. Trust me, it was worth the wait. But wait, there's one last thing about version 2.9 that I want to talk about, and this is very important to our private server owners. Private servers at DARF will remain free for players to create their personal server just for friends or to record a video. But there's something missing, and for that, I am introducing a new feature coming to 2.9, and that's Private Server Plus. It is everything private servers and more. What's the more? Private server owners can control the server to their liking. Want to change the temperature on the fly? Go ahead. Make custom captions? You bet. We want to give an option for private server owners to have the freedom to control the server. Let's take a closer look at Private Server Plus. Hello everybody, again. I survived in the last Arctic Blast, but today I'm going to show you Private Server Plus in action. So after you purchase that Game Pass, you'll be able to have your very own option called Private Server Plus. Now I'm in control of this private server with no one here, but we don't talk about that. So for example, let's say it's getting hot here, so I'm gonna set the temperature back to 0. Well, it works, but you can set the temperature to whatever you like. You can also make custom captions. What captions should I say? What should I say for the captions? Oh yeah, that would definitely work.
Security is the first step towards a safe work environment. Stay secure. Stay vigilant.
There we go. There it is. Oh, my own very custom caption. It's amazing. So, other than that, with those other two things, we also added random things here, such as we can make explosions, which is fun, very fun, but we added a debug so people won't spam click on that thing, but have at it. You can also fade to red, which actually fades to red in 30 seconds, which is typical for, well, a deadly scenario that's happening. And if you're feeling, chili, you can also change it to fade to blue, which will also fade to blue, which matches the Arctic Blast. As you can see, from fading from red to blue. Look at that. Looks cool, huh? We also have a reset lighting, so we can go ahead and reset the lighting back to its default. Which again will take a couple of seconds to do so, but hey, the lighting has been restored. And everything is, well, back to normal. I think I misclicked on the reset lighting part, my bad. So, or we can also trigger the power outlets. Sorry, not sorry. Or, if you're nice, you can restore power. There we go. Cool, isn't it? But there's also one last thing. I wonder what this button does. Instant melt. Don't click. But what if I, do I have to like hold down, I think? I mean, there has to be a failsafe here, but I think... Oh no. Oh no. Oh crap. Oh, that's the wrong button. I did, oh no. No. Well, what do I do? Oh crap. Okay. Okay. To wrap this up, this is a short preview of Private Server Plus. I won't be able to make it out live, but that wraps it up for Private Server Plus. So I hope you enjoy the short demo of Private Server Plus. Ignore that triangle like fling out midair. I don't know what's going on right now, so thanks for watching. Private Server Plus will be available when version 2.9 releases, starting at 200 Robux. The core elements of private servers will remain free. For players to control their own server, Private Server Plus is right for you. With a plethora of new features coming to 2.9, we cannot wait to see you again when it releases to the public very soon. And that's 2.9, the best Arctic Blast update ever. We've discussed the future for Discover Archives in version 2.9. Now, I want to talk about how we got here for a small bit before we wrap up today's event. Aquatic Research Facility has been through two major transitions since 2015. Before DARF, we had Discover Computer Core, formerly known as Knowledge Tech Computer Core and Gigafix Builders Computer Core. It was very much inspired from Polymer Builders and started back in 2012 as a hobby. With many feedback and motivation, I kept pushing updates to it. And in 2015, I started a new project that will be the next version of Discover Computer Core. The first transition started from 2015 and ended in 2016. We moved from Discover Computer Core to Aquatic Research Facility. Now, the second transition was a big one. Back in 2017 to 2019, we had the Emerald update. It was considered the buggiest update for DARF, and that worried many players about the future of our second flagship experience. We did our best to make sure that DARF is enjoyable for everyone going forward. And the second transition was the move from the buggy Emerald update to the community update. The transition completed on May 15, 2019. Aquatic Research Facility continues to have a special place in my heart, filled with fond memories and so much excitement. It's been great to have everyone here, and we cannot wait to hear what you think about today's event. From everyone here at Aquatic Research Facility to people watching online on YouTube, I would like to thank you all for joining today. I look forward to seeing you back at Aspire 2022 happening in October. This is Technological Byte. Thank you for joining us and have a fantastic day. Wait, hold on a minute everybody. I have something to talk about quickly. We just talked about DARF Archives, version 2.9, the best Arctic Blast update ever, and two major transitions DARF have completed. But there is one more thing. I am so confident that you'll enjoy 2.9 that after this event is over, for group members, starting today for a limited time, you'll have the opportunity to try out version 2.9 beta at DARF Experimental for free. I really look forward for your feedback and to hear what you think about 2.9 and how we can make it better for the general release soon. It's been an honor for me to finally get Arctic Blast out of beta once and for all. Also, starting today, you're able to pre-order your very own Private Server Plus pass, starting at 150 Robux for a limited time. However, I am not done just yet. I have one small thing to talk about. Remember about the transition period that we have completed for DARF? Well, there's actually one more transition that I'll talk about at Aspire 2022. I really want to talk about it today, but I'm saving it for the best for last. Plus, I am excited that Aspire 2022 will be happening on October 31st. We cannot wait to meet you back here to discuss more about the future ahead of us. From everyone here participating and for those of you watching online, it's been a blast today. I'm Technological Bryant, and I'll see you back at Aspire 2022 at Aquatic Research Facility. Have a fantastic day and enjoy experiencing 2.9 beta today.